In this defamation trial, Amber Heard's legal team is proving to be quite a handful, and the judge is becoming exhausted as a result. This is not aiding the team at all. If you want to win the trial, you must always be on the judge's side. Typically, both attorneys would be called to the stand because Amber's attorneys would spout rubbish and Johnny's attorneys would disagree. The judge is growing tired of this. She likely appreciates the respite. So, there was this one time when Amber's attorneys submitted evidence that appeared to be text exchanges between Amber and Johnny expressing a desire to assist with a detox or to be on the island. An attorney for Johnny Depp objected because this is a complicated question that could confuse the witness. This is a frequent tactic employed by lawyers. The judge ultimately allowed the evidence to be presented, but humiliated Amber's attorneys by stating that it is not her responsibility to maintain track of evidence. This had already been redacted in court, but the attorney continued to apologize for her stupidity. You cannot see the judge's face, but her irritation is audible in her voice. The second time she became irritated, she was calculating the remaining hours of testimony for both parties. The attorneys for Amber attempted to correct her, but it appears that they cannot even perform elementary math. She attempted to teach the attorney a lesson, but she refused to back down. Other attorneys for Amber praised the judge, leaving the other attorney in ruins. I'm uncertain how she could face the public after that. And now comes the point at which the judge was most irritated with that team. This occurs when they observe attorneys misbehaving in court. Okay, the judge was utterly surprised that they had the audacity to do this in front of her. Amber's team was laughing and talking until the judge warned them to stop and to remember that they were in court. The judge is likely anxious as a result of their presence. Johnny Depp may have won this defamation trial action against his ex-wife Amber Heard, but the legal drama is far from over. According to Heard's counsel, she will seek an appeal, which will likely take years. Time consulted legal experts over the next steps in the case, Heard's odds of winning an appeal, and the possible scope of the legal war. First, a concise summary of the case itself. Depp had sued Heard over a 2018 Washington Post op-ed in which she referred to herself as a public figure embodying domestic abuse. Depp was not identified as her abuser by Heard. Depp contended, however, that the article was detrimental to his career. Heard countersued, alleging that Depp's attorney, Adam Wallman, defamed her by referring to her allegations as false in the Daily Mail as Depp's agent. In the UK in 2020, the actor had already lost a similar libel action against the tabloid The Sun. In that case, a British court determined that The Sun's assertion that Depp was a wife-beater who had assaulted Heard on at least 12 occasions was essentially true. In contrast to the United States, this case was determined by a judge, not a jury, and the trial was not broadcast on television. In the American case, both Heard and Depp were compensated. They decided that Heard defamed Depp willfully and awarded him $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages. The judge then reduced the punitive damages to the highest amount authorized by Virginia law, which was $350,000. In addition, for her counterclaim, the jury awarded Heard $2 million in compensatory damages. Paying damages to Depp would show that the jury believed the Pirates of the Caribbean actor when he claimed that Heard lied about the violence that she alleged, but awarding damages to Heard would indicate that the jury did not consider her allegations of abuse to be a hoax. Regarding what Heard's legal team will or should do if they decide to appeal the case, experts are divided. The jury appears to have more faith in Depp's story than in Heard's, and experts agree that the appeal courts are generally unlikely to review jury credibility findings, even if a jury's verdict was inconsistent. Washington, D.C. family law attorney Rebecca Sullivan stated, "Anyone appealing faces a hard battle." According to attorneys who spoke with Time, Heard's defense team will likely assert that a legal error occurred during the trial, and will attempt to overturn the verdict on the grounds that the jury was influenced by outside forces. Regardless of the decision made by Heard's legal team, an appeals court will not make a decision in the near future. Los Angeles civil trial attorney David Ring sees the system as lengthy and expensive. He and other specialists estimated that the appeal would take at least 2 years. Several attorneys who spoke with Time estimated that it will cost Heard hundreds of thousands of dollars, in addition to presumably millions of dollars that she has already spent on legal fees. However, if you're facing a $15 million judgment, you must likely pursue it, Ring explains. Before the appeals process can even begin, Heard or her insurance company would likely be asked to post a bond demonstrating that she has or can collect the money that she owes to Depp. It is questionable whether Heard will be able to post bond, as she and her attorneys have said that the trial has been a financial burden. If she chooses to proceed, however, her legal team may have a better chance before an appeals court than before the jury of 5 men and 2 women that awarded Depp damages. Videos and memes of Depp and Heard testifying with disproportionately pro-Depp commentary were pervasive on TikTok and other social media platforms, Sullivan adds. I would expect the appellate portion of the case, in which the audience consists of the judges, to place a far higher focus on logical reasons and a lot less emphasis on theatrics. On appeal, no cameras would be present, and Heard's testimony cannot be scrutinized, altered, or misconstrued by social media. The case would be decided by 3 appellate judges on the Virginia Court of Appeals based solely on the attorney's written submissions. Depending on the outcome, the case could be appealed to the Supreme Court of Virginia, which has the discretion to accept or reject the appeal, and then to the Supreme Court of the US, which has the same discretion. And that's all for today's video. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section down below. I hope that you found this video interesting, and if you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. See you in the following video with some more of the latest updates, and until then, stay tuned!